John Gates is going to run in Super District number 4. John Gates.
Good evening. Thank you for having me. It's an honor and a privilege. I've done a little bit of work in the community. I've been very active with Toys for Tots, the literacy program, and Hungry at Home. And recently I got in with the Hungry at Home for a couple of reasons. Number one, I had one little boy that was 8 years old one Christmas, and I said, well, what do you want for Christmas? Out of everything an 8-year-old boy could ever ask for, you would not believe he did not want a toy. He wanted a can of pork and beans so he could have dinner on Christmas. And that still gives me cold chills to think about somebody not having food in our day's society. And to go to school, and the only meals that child eats is breakfast and lunch, and it's at school. It's a crying shame. And I think we need to work harder at that. And on the county commission level, I think we need to find a way to get that information out to the community and work with churches, work with small business. I think that we have moved to the point that we depend on more corporate sponsors in our community than we do our small business. And I think if we're going to give tax breaks to the corporate sponsors, we also ought to look at our small business and make sure that they're able to stay in business. Mom and pops are always here. They don't leave our community. What I'm afraid of is if we bring too many corporates in, that they're going to stay, and once the break is past that time, that they pack up and leave. And if they do that, we're right back in the same hole as we were years ago, and a loss of jobs. I think we need to keep our jobs here in our local area and help mom and pop so they can have more people working for them. I also believe that we need to hire more of Lowndes County employees. If you're going to draw Lowndes County money, you need to spend Lowndes County money in Lowndes County. And the only way you're going to do that is if you have our employees living in this county. I don't think that we should also pay for somebody to take a vehicle home, and it's on our gas. It's on our use of our vehicles. We're paying for that rubber that runs down the road. I don't think that it should be that county employees take our vehicles out of Lowndes County unless it's about Lowndes County business. I know that there's several that work for our county that has vehicles they take home on a regular basis. I don't think that's right. I don't think it's fair that we spend our money allowing them to have the luxury of a vehicle. I see vehicles out there pulling into Walmart, shopping centers. Why are they able to use our vehicles to go shopping for personal use? I don't think that's right. I think they should be utilized for what the purpose is. So I think that's one of our major issues that we need to look at. Also, I think that we can be a whole lot better with some of our income. I think we spend more than we really should. I think we need to stretch that dollar a whole lot more thinner. I also believe that we ought to look at our education system a little bit in Lowndes County and try to help these kids. I know the philosophy of No Child Left Behind, and I agree with that concept. However, I disagree with the implementation of it. If a child cannot do second grade work, why in the world would you promote him to third grade? He's got to have that extra help so we can get that child developed enough that we don't lose them when they get to the 10th, 11th, and 12th grade to drop out of school because we have failed that child. And I don't want to see any child left behind. I want to make sure that they get the basis. You don't build a house on sand. You build it on a good foundation. And that's what we got to do with our children. We got to build that foundation. We got to make it solid because they are our next future. And I really think by education also diminishes the amount of crime that we would see in our community. It's more profitable to get an education than it is to be a thief. Drugs, yeah, they make a lot of money very quick. but it's also a lifestyle that could be very short for people. And that's all the way across the board. I don't want to see any child have to be in prison because of a stupid mistake. I also believe that our military should have the first crack at any jobs in our county. If they get out of the military and they have the qualifications, by golly, they should have that job first. They put their butt on the line. The military should have that first job. And I think my time's probably up. I want to thank you, and please vote for me.